Good afternoon. This is a special edition of Political Paula, and I felt I needed to come on to discuss the president's speech last night on the wall, to wall or not to wall, that is the question. And rather, at first I was going to do one kind of show, and then I figured, everybody's going to be repeating what the president said and repeating what Pelosi and Schumer said, and most of you have probably, because most of my viewers are pretty up to date, that you've probably already heard the whole thing or the excerpts, and the speech was fairly short anyway. Trump's speech was 10 minutes. The rebuttal was maybe, I don't know, 6 minutes. But look, whatever you believe about this wall and who pays for it and all this other stuff, first and foremost, I'm going to just do a little bit of fact checking. And okay, what most of the commentary was last night was, well, Trump says that illegals commit all these crimes, that people have been killed, American citizens. And people were trying to say, well, that's not true. Well, it is true, okay? It is true. That police officer, that hero police officer, over the holidays, a father and a husband was killed by an illegal immigrant, someone who had no right to be in our country. And it does happen. And their response is, well, American citizens commit crimes too. That's true. American citizens do commit crimes. But the difference is that the American citizen has a right to be here. They don't have the right to commit a crime. But think of a family who has lost a loved one to an illegal immigrant, to someone who had no right to be in our country, and to someone, a family who our American immigration laws has failed because their loved one is gone. And if the laws had worked and this person had not been allowed in our country illegally, their loved one would be alive. Now think about that. Think about that. And the other thing, and then I'm going to get to really the point of the show, is why I'm really pissed off about our immigration laws. The other thing is that the Democrats say these are innocent women and children. These are the most common forms of illegal immigrants. Now, fine, they're innocent women and children. But they're also innocent women and children who have no documentation, no birth certificates. They do not speak English. Okay? So let's just say we let them in because they're innocent women and children. Where are they going to live? How are they going to provide food and clothing for their children? How will their children affect our public school system? Our United States citizen, American-born children have a right to go to public school. That's a right in our country. And they're supposed to be getting, whether you agree with public school or not, I just did a show about public school. It's not that great. But it's the way most American children are educated. Now, what are we going to do if all of a sudden in one public school alone there are 30 illegal immigrant children that enter the school system? They do not speak English. They have had no formal education in their home countries. Are they going to put our children even further behind? Because our American-born English-speaking children now have to wait for their illegal immigrant counterparts to catch up? It's a good question. It's a question we should be asking. How are these, if they're single mothers, how are they going to get jobs when they don't speak English? And they have no documentation. They can't even prove who they are. I don't think some of these countries these illegals are coming from issue IDs. And that's where we're going next. Because this is what makes me angry. So the Democrats want the borders open. Anybody who feels like it can come on in. We're not going to ask any questions. Just come on in. You're welcome with open arms. Even though, if they really go back in their history, that's not what used to happen. I always say this, when my ancestors came here, they went through a huge process before they were allowed to step off Ellis Island into New York. Okay? It wasn't so easy. We didn't just, oh, there's the Statue of Liberty, come on in. They had to go through a lot. But I did a show about this a few weeks ago actually, and Real ID. Real ID is not for illegal immigrants. I don't even believe it's to catch illegal immigrants. It is basically a cattle call for American citizens to rush to their local DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, stand in long lines, and reprove we are who our driver's licenses that many of us have had since we're 16 years old are who we are. I am an American citizen. Not only that, I have a little bit of a different advantage, I would think, is that from the time I'm 16 years old to this day, the address on my driver's license has never changed. I grew up in this house. And in the short periods of time when I didn't live here with my mom, I never changed my address. My mail came here. My driver's license had this house number and city and state and zip code on it. And I'm 54 years old. My address has never changed. But here's the thing. And I don't understand the reason for it. I don't know how it's going to keep us any safer. But in order for me to get on a plane after October of 2020, I have to go to the DMV. And I don't just need to say, hey, it's me. I still live at the same address. It's my picture on the driver's license. No, see, now I need to take my birth certificate. Didn't need that when I was 16 to get a driver's license. And this is something I need that I don't actually have. I need 2 utility bills in my name that are sent to this address, and they have to be, I think, no more than 30 days old. Well, see, I'm a married woman, and my husband pays the bills. I guess we're a little old-fashioned in our family. All of the utility bills in this house are in my husband's name. They're not in my name. The house is in my name, but the utility bills are not. And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there, including young people who live with their parents, who also don't have utility bills in their name. And I would like to ask anyone who wants to tell me why I need to take an electric bill or a cable bill or some kind of bill into the DMV in order to be able to get on a plane and go from Pennsylvania to California. Because I'm still traveling in my own country. This is my country. I'm an American citizen. Now look, if all I had to do was take my birth certificate and my marriage license, because my driver's license is actually in my married name, that I would do. But I don't understand this bullshit with 2 utility bills. And again, I don't see how it's going to make American travelers any safer. And as with most things, true criminals will get around this. They're going to figure out a way. And I will tell you something else. Getting a passport is easier. Getting a passport, you just need your birth certificate and a photo ID, basically. Maybe social security number, which again is fine. Although I'm not real thrilled giving my social security number to somebody at the post office who makes, I don't know how much an hour, but could easily steal my number. I don't appreciate that. But the passport is easier to get, and it's good for 10 years, whereas the driver's license, of course, is you got to renew it every 4 years. I think once you go through the hoops and do the somersaults to make the government happy and prove as a citizen, and you've been a citizen all your life, that you really are who you say you are, I don't think you have to do that every 4 years. Once you have real ID, it's real ID. Again, though, when you compare what's going on with illegal immigrants, and you have the Democrats saying, let them in, No questions asked. Just they can come in. Welcome, bienvenidos, or whatever you say in the language they speak. We'll put signs up for you in the grocery store so you can, buy your food in your language. We have telemarketers that'll answer your phone calls in your language. Well, as an American citizen, then my driver's license that I've had since I was 16 should be good enough to get me on a plane to travel in America, in my country. It should be good enough. This is why I'm pissed off. Because I'm the one now who's being treated like the criminal. Like somehow I've done something wrong and I now have to prove that I'm really Paula Luciano. I have to prove it. And I don't see why I should have to do that. My driver's license doesn't expire this year. And I will be damned if I'm going to make an extra trip, because every 4 years it's a pain in the ass enough to go renew your driver's license. I usually get there half an hour before they open, and I'm first one in the door, because I'm not waiting in line. You know how I feel about waiting in line. But I really don't believe that I should have to go and make an extra trip to the DMV with my and change the names in the electric bill in order so I can prove I'm who I am to the Pennsylvania Department of Motor Vehicles. I have never been charged with a crime. I have never committed a crime. I have never, ever lost my driver's license because I have had traffic tickets or DUI or anything like that. I have renewed my driver's license every 4 years since I'm 16 years old. My address hasn't changed. When I got married, I changed my name, which may have been a big mistake, actually. And which I may actually just change my driver's license back to my maiden name, just to make things easier. Because if I get a passport, I'm going to do it in my maiden name. Because my expired passport was in my maiden name. My birth certificate, of course, maiden name. And my Social Security card never changed my name at the Social Security Administration. Why? Because of the long lines, because of the waiting around. I don't want to do that. This house is in my maiden name. It's in my name. Now, I don't know if I could walk into the DMV with the deed to this house in my name, and actually the tax bills come in my name. I don't know if that would be good enough for them for real ID. That might be. But they specifically said utility bills, which to me is electric, gas, cable, I guess trash and sewer. That's in my name. So that could work out for me. But again, if we're going to let hundreds or thousands of immigrants just walk into this country, why do I have to worry about this crap? Why is it that I can't get on a plane to go from Pennsylvania to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, or to California, or anywhere in the United States without jumping through these hoops? And yet we want these illegals to just walk on in, set up shop. Oh, here's the address of the food stamp people. Here's how you get in touch with the welfare office. Oh, and your kids get to go to school for absolutely free. And we even hire teachers at taxpayer dollars. Don't worry. Your neighbors in your new neighborhood, they'll pay for the English as a second language teachers. You don't have to pay for anything. We want you here. Isn't it sad? I'm an American citizen, and for some reason, sounds like they don't want me around. They don't want me to get on a plane. They don't want me to travel. I could be dangerous. Really? Is that really going to keep America safer? Or is it just going to piss more Americans off? Like I said, I'm not interested in getting real ID. Maybe a passport, but only will I get a passport and spend that money. I think it's like $90, $95 now. And my husband and I both need one. I will only get a passport if I'm actually making plans to travel somewhere by plane. But as I've told you before, I think road trips are starting to sound a lot better, a lot more convenient as far as what you can pack. Uh, with me being a smoker, I'm going to be doing a show about that in the next few weeks, that traveling as a smoker is extremely inconvenient and scary and horrific, and of course it is discriminatory. You can't get a smoking hotel room. You can't smoke once you go through security at the airport. And it's just very inconvenient to travel by plane in this country anyway. When I drive in my car, I don't have to take off my shoes. And I can pack anything I want. I can pack 2 cartons of cigarettes. I can bring all my electronic devices with me, my laptop, my tablet, my cell phone. Nobody's going to be looking at it or telling me to download all my contacts at TSA like they do. I can wear shoes and socks and clothes. My luggage won't be weighed. I won't have to pay extra. I can put as much stuff as fits in the back of my car in there and pack. And I can smoke during the whole trip. So while it might take longer to get where I'm going, I'll be more comfortable. I'll be able to open up a can of soda, not pay $7 for it on a plane. I'll be able to eat anything I want, including a peanut butter sandwich. God forbid you try to take peanuts on a plane or peanut butter. Yeah, can't do that. Someone might be allergic. Oh, and the best part of a road trip with me and my husband, there won't be any children in the car. We all know how children on a plane can really ruin a trip. They kick the seat, they scream, they yell, their ears pop, and they yell, and they cry, and they scream, and then mothers whip out their breasts and breastfeed, and it's... So really, if I really want to go somewhere, even as an American citizen, it's sad, but I will choose to travel somewhere for a vacation where it's drivable. It's drivable. Yeah, I'm not probably never going to see California or Nevada but again, those places really weren't on my bucket list to begin with. I'll probably never be in Florida again, but been there, done that. To tell you the truth, didn't impress me much. Didn't impress me much. Now, I was there, unfortunately, in kind of off seasons. I was there in the summer. It was really hot, and it rained every day. And then I was there in like April, and it was a little chilly. But again, when I was in Florida, all I did was spend all my time in the car, because nobody that I went to be around where I went, you had to drive to the beach. You couldn't walk to the beach. We didn't stay on the beach, and that just to me is not a vacation. So I don't really care about going to Florida. So anywhere else that I actually want to go is probably an 8-hour drive. And for me, who hates being a passenger in a car, that's probably a lot of driving. But there are ways to prepare for it, like get really drunk before you get in the car, or sneak some alcoholic beverages while you're in the car as a passenger. You can do it. It's not legal, but you can do it. Soda cans, empty soda cans, you always keep them for those road trips. Then you just pour wine in them. Oops. Not giving you my license plate number. Again, I'm the passenger, not the driver. But yeah, I think it is insulting to all American citizens who will find themselves standing in line at the DMV, reproving their identity to their state officials, while the Democrats believe that all illegal immigrants should be welcomed into our country with no questions asked. So that's how I feel about this whole immigration thing. And like to hear your comments, as always. And we'll see you on the next show. Political Paula, out.